All right, guys, it's Jimmy here, and things are getting now even more serious. Take a look at this here. I got multiple things to show you here, so watch this here. Okay, first, former President Donald Trump warns of quote potential death and destruction if he's charged in the hush money case. Um, yeah, here's his exact quote and post on Truth Social. So this is his exact words. So everybody's getting the exact clear picture here. Trump says, quote, what kind of person can charge another person? In this case, a former president of the United States who got more votes than any sitting president in history and leading candidate by far for the Republican nomination with a crime when it is known by all that no crime has been committed, and also known that potential death and destruction in such a false charge would be catastrophic for our country. Why and who would do such a thing? Only a degenerate psychopath that truly hates the USA. Yeah, so he says, I mean, obviously a lot here, but he says that potential death and destruction in such a false charge could be catastrophic for our country here. So, first, a few reactions here. Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries of the House of Representatives says Nancy Pelosi's basic replacement here. Jeffries warns that Trump's words may get someone killed. Yeah, House Minority Leader Kevin or Hakeem Jeffries, I almost said Kevin McCarthy, warned Friday that an escalation in violent rhetoric by former President Donald Trump has the potential to, quote, get someone killed. And you can let me know your thoughts on this. Does this kind of remind you of any other event here recently? Trump, who is under investigation by Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg, related to the hush money payments to an adult film actress, Stormy Daniels, had written hours earlier that charges brought against him in that case could lead to, quote, potential death and destruction. I just read you the exact quote. Jeffrey said such threats bear echoes to Trump's message leading up to the attack on the Capitol on January 6th, 2021. Warning the former president might spark another episode of violence if he doesn't tone down the language, saying, quote, the twice impeached former president's rhetoric is reckless, reprehensible, and irresponsible. It's dangerous, and if he keeps it up, he's going to get someone killed, he said during a press briefing at the Capitol. Quote, we've already seen the consequences of incitement from the former president, he continued. He is principally responsible for inciting the violence insurrection that happened on January 6th, but clearly he has not learned his lesson, end quote. Now, there's more I'll get to here in a second. You can let me know your thoughts on this, just this first part alone. If you want my opinion, I don't think he should be saying this. And again, if you've been watching me for a while, you know my thoughts here. I'm not Republican. I'm not Democrat. In fact, I just said here recently, I recently compared here that former President Donald Trump's hush money to former President Bill Clinton's hush money when he paid Paula Jones. And how the Democrats went after Trump and the Republicans went after Bill Clinton in kind of similar cases, and how both of these presidencies were kind of a political attacks by the other party, and how every time I think of Bill Clinton, I think of the Monica Lewinsky case, and not so much Paula Jones, but Monica Lewinsky, and how presidents are always constantly attacked by minor things like this by the other side. And should presidents be allowed to be criminally charged or even politicized to this degree? unless it's much, much higher things like treason, which or inciting insurrection, which is the January 6th thing, arguably people could do. But paying a woman money is obviously a much, much lower thing. I mean, again, one can argue whether it's even illegal or not. Again, that's what they're trying to even decide. There's also some rhetoric on whether it would even constitute a fine or not, because it's really just kind of campaign finance rules that they're talking about here, and not necessarily a criminal charge. So that is one thing that they're kind of talking about right now, is there even criminal charges that can be brought about this? Because um, I don't know if criminal charges have ever been brought on this type of a case. Only fines. So, and again, it's just kind of letting you know what I've been seeing here. So we will see. But the thing I don't like is I don't like Trump saying these things that it's like that he. I mean, you can let me know your thoughts here, even if you're a Republican. I mean, talking about death and destruction will come if I'm arrested. And it's almost like sending a warning out to not arrest me. And it's almost kind of like blackmail, saying, don't arrest me. If you do, this is what will happen. Right? That's really not the way the justice system should work. Now, that's different than saying, I don't think he should be arrested, or I don't think that's the right thing that should happen. It's different than saying, don't arrest me. If you do, bad things will happen. Right? Okay, there's a difference there. So yeah, and calling people to arms, saying death and destruction, which is what he's saying, is his exact quote. I think that's stepping over the line a little bit, And again, whether it was a Republican or Democrat, no matter who it was, you guys can let me know your thoughts here on this in the comments. And then there's next up here is what he's saying. Trump calls for the removal of every top official investigating him. Yeah. And then I'll show you this next thing here on how he's getting money from people about this as well. But so here again, I like to show you guys this directly here on the screen, so you get to see it directly here. Former President Donald Trump's exact quote and post here on Truth Social yesterday. He says, District Attorney Bragg is a danger to our country and should be removed immediately, along with radical lunatic bomb thrower Jack Smith. Boy, his wording here, who is harassing and intimidating innocent people at levels not seen before. Quote, get Trump Letitia James, the worst attorney general in the United States, and Atlanta DA Fani Willis, who is trying to make perfect phone calls into a plot to destroy America, but reigns over the most violent crime scene in America and does nothing about it. So basically, if we go back to the headline here, is that Trump calls for the removal of every top official investigating him. So yeah, you guys can let me know your thoughts here on that. And then here's a headline directly from Fox News that says, and again, I'm not picking and choosing sources or anything here. This is directly from Fox News, obviously a Republican station here. Trump raises $1.5 million for a presidential campaign. This was actually 2 days ago, so it's probably even more money since then, maybe over $2 million or so. Trump raises $1.5 million for presidential campaign since warning of arrest in looming for the NYC indictment. Yeah. And then I have another headline here from Business Insider. Trump's fans sent him $1.5 million in just 3 days after he falsely predicted that he would be arrested on Tuesday. Again, you guys can let me know your thoughts here on this. What he got $1.5 million in donations in only 3 days alone. Yeah, former President Donald Trump raised $1.5 million in 3 days after he claimed on Truth Social that he would be arrested on Tuesday, per multiple media outlets. Trump's 2024 campaign confirmed the sum to Fox News. The outlet reported here on Wednesday. The money was said to be raised from grassroots donations. And get this, the resulting average of $500,000 a day, approximately, is almost double the average daily average from the weeks before and after he announced his bid for the White House in November. The Trump campaign brought in $11.8 million in 6 weeks before the announcement, averaging out $280,000 a day in donations. And in the 6 weeks after Trump announced his run, his campaign raised $9.5 million or $226,000 a day. Wow. He's making $250,000 a day just in people giving him money. And now it's doubled since he, claimed he was going to be arrested on Tuesday, and it hasn't happened yet. But wow. So, yeah, I mean, again, he confirmed this to Fox News. So, it's must be true, or at least he told Fox News it was true. And where do we go from here? Yeah, the world is crazy. So he says he's going to be arrested. He starts bringing in twice as much money, approximately, from people that just giving him money here on a daily basis. Every single day, this is happening, and he's claiming for death and destruction. There's so much that I can't even process it. What are your thoughts here? I think he needs to tone it down a little bit because these aren't things you want to see here, right? Um, yeah, and it's just like even if like the problem here with Trump is he's got like multiple legal battles and lawsuits and problems here. He's got January 6th stuff. He's got the Stormy Daniels stuff. He's got the tax evasion stuff. So, like, if per se any of these things happen to him, and don't get me wrong, he's going to be nearing 80 years old here soon too as well. If he becomes president here, um, he'll get immunity for 4 years. But like, I don't think it's the right thing for him to, if if don't get me wrong, he's got the best lawyers ever. He's a billionaire, he claims. I mean, who knows how much money he has, right? Do we really want the United States, even if you're a Republican, let me know in the comments, do we really want a civil war type situation and people protesting another January 6th thing? Do we really want that type of situation if he gets even just indicted, which means just an arrest claim against him, which he can then go fight in the court of law? And he's got the best lawyers ever, the most money ever, for, pretty much, you get what I'm saying here. And he can fight this tooth and nail. He could drag this on for years. He could literally plea bargain it down and or even win the case. Do we want this type of situation, this anarchy for our country? I would say no. I would say no. Because even if charges are brought against him, albeit, again, I don't think that they should be brought against him for anything minor. I think no president should have charges brought against them unless they're very, very top charges. Like when I think about Clinton and the Monica Lewinsky case, like I think that was absolutely absurd. I don't think he should have been impeached for that. I think it was absolutely absurd. I think you should not be impeaching a president for something like that. And again, he's a Democrat. Trump's a Republican. So I'm kind of defending both of them there because I'm not really from either party. I don't think we should be making our country a laughing stock of the world. We're Americans. We should be backing our presidents to some degree and not be making ourselves the laughing stock of the world. We're Americans. We need to be United States of America, at least to somewhat degree. And I get if you're a hardcore Democrat, if you're a hardcore Republicans, you're gonna not like the president at least somewhat. But we have to at least somewhat be the United States. We have to be Americans. We have to have some pride in our country and a little bit of pride in our presidency. We can't just automatically always hate our president because they have a D or an R in their name. We have to go back a little bit and say, I'm an American. I back our president, at least somewhat. You can disagree with their policies and you can disagree and not like, what they do and stuff like that. But we can't be just trying to impeach every single president that comes in for everything they do, especially like personal stuff, like stuff they did with a woman or something like that. But you can let me know your thoughts here in the comments. I'll keep you up to date here because things are far from over. So if you haven't yet, make sure to subscribe down below. It's completely free to do so. New videos come out here every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Click the bell icon after you subscribe. Here's some videos you should watch next. Here's a major announcement the Fed just made that is going to affect millions of Americans and could even cause more banks to fail. And here's what Russia and China just did and you need to know about. So click on one of those videos next. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.